Welcome back to Sidebar, and I'm joined today with Holmes Hummel, who's principal at Clean Energy Works. So Holmes, let's first just start out, what is Clean Energy Works for our virtual audience?
Oh, sure. You know, I founded Clean Energy Works to help open the clean energy economy for all, something I became passionate about through my period of service as the Senior Policy Advisor at the Department of Energy. You'll hear a little bit more about that in the main stage coming up. But suffice it to say, we've been really encouraged by the results in the field when we actually allow everybody to participate.
So a lot of what I think you're going to talk about today is around equity. And so how's that focus in terms of energy and equity?
You know, equity is a word that has a couple different meanings, including in the financial sector. And so most of my focus is on financing that actually is able to allow more people to participate than what you typically think of when you apply underwriting standards that systematically disqualify people who aren't landowners, have sufficient credit or income. And if we disqualify so many people, where is the constituency for the clean energy policy platform that the whole industry needs? That's why inclusion is in everybody's interests.
So what kind of financing are you talking about?
You know, utilities have a proven business model that uses a terms of service agreement, a tariff. It's different than a promissory note, a loan. And as a result, you don't have to prove that you have collateral or credit to turn on your light switch. And when we start to innovate on that concept and apply it to distributed energy solutions that are getting more cost effective every day, then you see an on-ramp for everybody to participate in the clean energy economy.
Oh, that sounds great. Now, this afternoon you're doing one of our workshops, and unfortunately our virtual audience won't get to see that part of it. So I think your breakout is around reduce, electrify, and decarbonize. Can you give them a sense of what's going to happen in your workshop?
Well, sure. I'm going to actually delve into some more detail about the pay-as-you-save system, which has been the most often chosen basis for inclusive financing designs. And I'll be joined by a commissioner from California who's focused on electrifying the transportation sector, which is another application for tariffed on-bill financing. We'll be talking about amplifying the amount of investment that's flowing into these innovative solutions using some of those mechanisms.
So are you focused just in Hawaii or all around the United States?
This is one of my very first trips.
What?
It is. I'm amazed. This is the most beautiful place, and certainly we've been reading about Hawaii in the news for so long as it leads us in the field. Most of my work is actually in the southeastern states. It's a part of the United States that regionally is on the front lines for climate damages, but also energy burden. There is a heat wave of poverty in the Southeast that hasn't broken for more than a century. And because I'm descended from a family on both sides that's been there for generations, I'm very passionate about making sure that if we're moving into the clean energy future, everybody's on the way.
So I think, and I come from California, so I could have a wrong impression, but when I think about the Southeast, I think mainly red states, and maybe not as open to talking about climate change and its impacts. And so how do you deal with that?
You know, inclusive financing is not specifically about fighting climate change at the site-based level. But let me cut it to you this way. If the American people who live in the southeastern states can't find a path to economic benefit in the clean energy economy, why would we expect them to support it? And if we need their participation in order to move the whole country forward and the whole world forward within the lifespan of my generation, who can afford to walk away? I'm there because I have actually seen that pragmatic problem solvers are introducing solutions that would be fit for even here. It's exciting to see what they've come up with.
So we just had a panel around rural electrification, and you know, I grew up in a rural area in upstate New York, and down south there's a lot of rural areas. Are you also working on solutions for those kind of communities?
What a great question. You know, one of the wonderful things about inclusive financing is that actually rural electric cooperatives have been leading the way with adoption. There's about 40 million Americans that buy $40 billion worth of power every year from utilities that they own at the same time that they are customers. And when they have good governance and their board is responsive to community interests, we've seen them move ahead to open the clean energy economy and its benefits to all their owners and members.
That's awesome. I mean, it sounds like a win-win, and I'm so glad that you're here to sort of convey this on the main stage and also do a deeper dive today. So thank you so much for your time, Holmes. It's been awesome.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Thanks so both of you for having me for the sidebar. I look forward to connecting again later today.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot, Holmes.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.